Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Fatima and I have a book haul. Here's my book haul. So the way that I like to buy my books are, I understand that there's a whole discourse on BookTube and Book Talk about how there's a lot of overconsumption about a lot of books and stuff. And I am very, very aware of that. And owning books is very materialistic, and it is quite a privilege to own so many books. The way that I like to collect my books, because collecting books and like reading books are kind of two different hobbies, but the way that I like to collect my books is that I already have read them from the library, and then I will usually buy them after I know I love them. So these are usually like 4 or 5 star reads. However, there are things on my shelves, obviously, like, no, it's perfect. When I was younger, I bought a lot of YA books that were on sale and seemed interesting and now just don't appeal to me. Or there are things on my shelves, especially on up higher on the top shelf, that were very impactful to me when I was younger and just aren't impactful to me any longer. Again, I'm not perfect. I did also get books that I think I will enjoy, but I have never read. So there are books like that on my TBR, like on my physical TBR, but the way that I generally like to collect books is that I want it to be only books, like I want my bookshelf to be filled with books that I absolutely adore and absolutely love. So I do also want to work through my physical TBR, but for now, I did order a couple books that, again, I love or generally like. So I'm going to peel open. This is a bad day to have my nails done, but it's okay. I thought it would be a good day to have my nails done. Okay, so I got it from Book Outlet, and I have heard some controversy surrounding Book Outlet, that they're racist, which is not great. They are a Canadian brand and I'm Canadian, so it makes shipping stuff a lot easier. And it's like if you get $50 worth of books, you get free shipping. So I tend to just do it enough books so that I get the free shipping. But, yeah, okay. Ooh, here are the books. Ooh. Okay, so we'll start with, there's 2 books that I specifically wanted this haul for, and then the other 2 I'll talk about, but, or the other 3 I'll talk about, but yes. Okay, so this book, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio, I loved this book. This book is phenomenal. It has so many things that I love in a book. It's very like fairy tale-esque. I love a fairy tale-esque reading type of book. And this was the first book I read this year, I think. And it was immediately a 5-star read. I loved this book. This is basically about this girl who, in this world, the sea god needs to take a bride every year or every few years or something like that. And it's usually the prettiest girl in the village or the most strongest girl in the village. Like, she has some sort of amazing talent. But during her time, during the main character's time, her brother, who she loves, and the brother loves her, is engaged or fiancé to someone else. But this lady, this someone else, is the most beautiful in the village. Like, she would have been the sea god's bride. So instead, to save her brother and to save her friend and his fiance, she basically sacrifices herself to the sea god. And then she gets into the world of the sea god and all of that fantastical world. It's very like Spirited Away vibes. And she gets into this other world, and then you see her navigate, solve the mysteries of this world, and why the sea god needs a bride every year or so, etc. And so she does that, and it is lovely. I love this book. It is very much like, if you watch Spirited Away, this is the vibes. If you liked Spirited Away, you will like this as well. I loved this. I loved this. So that's why I wanted it on my shelves. When I saw it on Book Outlet and I was on sale, I was like, I need to get it. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. So I'm going to figure out where this will go on my shelves, but for now, I love this book. This was one of the reasons I got this book, so I'm just gonna put that, maybe I'll put it behind me for now, like this. So there's that book. The next reason I got this haul was for this book, The Awakening. Okay, so this is the second book in the series of the Darkest Power series. I have it up here on this shelf. I only had the 2 books. I had the first book and the last book because I read this when I was in high school and I absolutely adored it. And I reread it a couple years ago and I still absolutely adored it. I'm not a huge fan of the ending. And I know there's a sequel series that follow a different main character and maybe we'll see them. But basically the Darkest Power series is about this girl, Chloe. And she finds out that she's a necromancer, basically. And she gets whisked away into this kind of home for troubled youths, but these youths all have kind of like some sort of power or supernatural power thing that's going on there. It is an urban fantasy, and it is I love it. This series I think really made me love reading urban fantasies and fantasies in general, and I love fantasy in general. I've always loved fantasy, but this really made me see a whole other world of this genre and propelled me further into reading as a hobby. So there's that. So this will go up with the rest of those ones up there, but for now I'm gonna stack it on the side here. Okay, I'm gonna push one piece aside for a second, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put you back here. And I will sort those later in my bookshelf. The next 3 books that I got, this was mostly to fulfill the criteria of getting the free shipping, but these are books that I've either already loved and have read, or yeah, I'll talk about it. So One Piece. One Piece. As you can see, I love One Piece, and I got this One Piece thing. That being said, I do have an inkling that I might buy like the box sets like I did here for where this book is going to go. And if that is the case, then I'll just sell this on like Facebook Marketplace or like give it away to the library. But I love One Piece. It's my favorite anime of all time. If you don't know what One Piece is, it's basically about Luffy, who is journeying to become the Pirate King. So love One Piece. So that's going to sit with One Piece here. So I don't have this novel yet because this one it's from novels 71 to 90, and this is volume 102. So I believe this is starting in, this looks like it's going to be in the Wano arc based on the cover. So yeah, so it looks like we're in Wano here. So yeah, there's Wano. That one's a long arc. The next 2 books, this one is kind of a together book. The thing is, I don't actually like it when books do this thing where the 2 novellas will like be put into one giant book. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I did enjoy the Murderbot Diaries. I think I gave it like a 3 or 4 stars, so it's not like my favorite book, but I did enjoy it for what it was. And I really enjoyed the first one, and then as the series progressed, I wasn't as intrigued anymore. That being said, I really enjoyed the first book, and I think it's fun. And also, when I was looking on Book Outlet, for one novella, it was like the same price of these 2 books together. So I was like, okay, this was a better deal. And I already know that I'm not going to get the rest of the series because I only really liked the first one. That being said, if I need to fulfill another shipping requirement thing, then maybe I'll get it. This book is basically about a android / cyborg person guy thing. I think they call it It. I think they refer to themselves as It. Murderbot is basically a sentient android or has sentient feelings and breaks apart from the android system, and then, things like that. It's like artificial intelligence who is intelligent, but also they used human parts for it, so that's why they have some sentience. But there's that, and then you kind of see him break away from this world and like do things his own way. Yeah, it calls itself, I don't remember, it's been a while since I read this. They call themselves Murderbot, so there's that. That's why the title is Murderbot. But I really did enjoy the first one of this, not so much the rest of them, but it is a fun, easy read. And then the last book here, I was actually supposed to have another book in here. It was supposed to be a My Hero Academia. It was volume 38. And I was supposed to get My Hero Academia, but it apparently like the book outlet like miscalculated how many they had in stock, and so I didn't get it. It's okay, that's fine. Yeah, I do eventually want to complete My Hero Academia series. That's why I wanted it, but not the end of the world. But this one, I loved the show about this. So this is a Netflix show now, but this is basically the School of Good and Evil, and I really, 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 really enjoyed the first book. Oh, I didn't realize I got the third one. I thought I got the first one. That's fine. I did really enjoy the Netflix show about this. It's super fun. It's basically about a school of good and a school of evil. And in this school of good and this school of evil, they kind of have a warped idea of what is good, what is evil. And our two main protagonists, one was supposed to go to the school of good and one was supposed to go to the school of evil, but they accidentally got switched. And you kind of see them navigate a world that is not conducive to them or is just different from what they are as people. And so there's that, and then it's a story of two best friends. Also, in the movie, I find that in movies the main characters tend to be a lot more sympathetic. When I was reading the book for this, like the first book of this, I was like, oh, this main character is kind of like terrible. Anyways, that is all the books I got. Yeah, I didn't realize I got the third one. I thought I got the first one. That is probably on me. Anyways, that is my book haul. Again, the way that I like to collect books is that as long as I've already read it and I loved it, then I want it on my shelves. And because 2 books there were on here, and I'm not going to pay like $10 for shipping when I could just like use that money to buy a book. So, sorry. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good day/night, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.